Hello, my name is Tara Pop, and my Capstone Project is called Fanworks, PYD, a Yellow Brick Road, the 60s of Fanworks and their effect on positive youth development. This presentation is outlined as follows. The objective, Part 1, the Next Generation Framework, Part 2, Understanding Fandom and Fanworks, Part 3, the 60s of Fanworks, and the conclusion. The objective of this presentation are to introduce and define next generation and their mindset, to identify and differentiate fandom and fanworks, and to show how fanworks affect youth development through what I call the 6 C's. Part 1, the Next Generation Framework. To understand the Next Generation Framework, this segment will define and help understand Next Generation and their mindset. So who are the Next Generation? According to Dan Tapscott, the Next Generation, also known as Next Gens, Millennials, or Generation Y, are individuals born between January 1977 and December 1997. This generation constitutes to about 81.1 million people. Following the Next Gen, a new generation known as Generation Next or Generation Z has been established for those born between January 1998 to the present. If we were to follow these two generation divisions, most of today's youth would fall under these two categories. The Next Generation is known for being the first generation to come of age surrounded by digital media. The following statistics show the trend of computer usage with American youth since 1999. In 1999, youth used the computer about 27 minutes a day. In 2004, their time increased to 62 minutes. By 2009, computer usage outside of schoolwork increased to 90 minutes a day. In fact, Rideout, Ford, and Roberts state that a youth's combined media usage in a day amounts to 10 hours and 45 minutes. On the internet front, in the United States alone, 73% of youth went on the internet in 2000. In 2007, the percentage increased to 93%. And Lenhart statistics show that in 2014, 95% of teens are on the internet and 74% of them are mobile internet users, meaning they go on the internet on a mobile device like smartphone and tablet. These statistics show just how much the youth are using the computer and the internet, which in turn shows just how prevalent digital media is with today's youth. All these technology uses is even affecting the way Next Gen thinks and consumes media. According to Tapscott, most older generations sit back and watch the television as passive viewers without getting further engaged in their show. The Next Gen prefer the internet over television. In fact, Tapscott showed that an average of 77% youth from 12 countries all say they will choose the internet over television, and even Kelly shows that British youth hate the idea of losing the internet over television. The Next Gen watch television, but as active viewers they switch between other activities like going on the internet, reading, and doing homework while using multiple devices. Multiple devices include television, computer, tablet, video game consoles, and other devices. Active viewers also fit the concept of Web 2.0. According to O'Reilly and Battelle, Web 2.0 is all about harnessing collective intelligent applications to manage, understand, and respond to massive amounts of user-generated data in real time. This means that digital users have plenty of opportunity to create something like a blog, a website, a digital collage, a movie, and many other projects that fall under other mediums, including Fanworks. To understand the Next Generation mindset and probably even Generation Next, there are 8 norms that define the Next Generation. These can be applied to anybody in the digital world, but these norms are commonly applied to the Next Gen. With the first norm, Next Gen value freedom. To them, having a choice is important. Take multiple devices as an example. They have the option to watch a movie on the TV, tablet, or desktop computer whereas people from the older generation did not have as much option. Norm number 2 says NetGens love to customize and personalize. From their desktop layout to their gadget covers and cases to their digital life, if they can customize it, they will eagerly do it. Norm number 3 states that NetGens will scrutinize the product they use. Companies need to understand that the NetGen input and feedback will affect them. The fourth norm indicates that NetGen seek corporate integrity and openness about their products. The internet is a place where people share information, and NetGen expect companies to share information without running into any barriers. Norm number 5 shows that NetGen want to combine entertainment and play in their life. They are aware that it is possible to attain a goal in more than one route. An example would be with their checking Facebook during work. They go on Facebook during duty hours, but when at home, they are willing to make up their work there as an alternate route. With norm number 6, NetGens are all about collaboration and relationship. Social media websites are popular because of the collaborative interface and their emphasis on building relationships. Norm number 7 states that NetGens are all about speed, thanks to modern networking technology. The need for instant gratification comes from this concept. Lastly, norm number 8 asserts that NetGens are innovative, and they also prefer companies that are innovative and creative. These 8 norms help define the next generation mindset and help us understand how a NetGen individual thinks. Part 2, Understanding Fandom and Fanworks. This section will go into details about fandom and fanworks and how they relate to the next generation framework. First off, fandom is a community where like-minded fans gather offline or online based on an existing entertainment source like literature, films, video games, television shows, and real-life or historical events. Fanworks are work created by fans based on the fandom they are in. For example, fans of Harry Potter are in the Harry Potter fandom, and the work they create in the fandom are known as Harry Potter fanworks. There are many types of fanworks in the fandom. The more common ones are as follows. Fanfiction or fanfic are prose or any written work that range from short, known as drabble, to the novel-length works that are 100,000 plus words long, and these are shared at fanfiction.net and other similar sites. Fan arts are traditional or digital art that are drawn to depict a fandom. These also include digital manipulations of icons, desktop, wallpapers, and etc. DeviantArt.com is a popular art site where fans share their work with other fans. Fan videos or fanvids are videos fans make. Fans create music video based on their favorite fandom, and they share their finished work at places like YouTube.com or Vimeo.com. Fan mixes are music-related work. Fans create soundtracks for their fandom or create rearrangement of existing songs. OCRemix.com is one place where video game fans rearrange video game tracks to something of their own. Fansites or fan shrines are websites made by fans to showcase their love for a particular fandom. Fanzines are fan-made magazines of a particular fandom. Cosplaying is when fans dress up as their favorite character. Some fans learn how to sew their own costume. Cosplay.com is one website where cosplayers can get together. Miscellaneous fan work consists of craft and jewelry making. To conclude, fan work types are quite unlimited. The next 2 slides will show the history of fan work. The idea of fan work existed long before the internet. Fanworks has been around since as early as the 1800s. The Bronte siblings explored alternate routes in history for historical figures like Duke of Ellington, a type of fanwork genre known as alternative history. In the 1930s, fanzines began to appear and fanworks showed up in science fiction magazines. In the 1960s and 1970s, Star Trek fans started to create slash fanworks. Slash fanworks are works that focus on homosexual relationships between 2 or more characters, the slash denoting a pairing like Kirk/Spock. Throughout the 1980s and early 1990s, before the internet became mainstream, fans compiled the works into fanzines, and these were mailed to fans and or sold at convention. In the 1990s, fans shared their works on Usenet groups, but the rise of the internet in the 1990s and 2000s allowed fans to change their Fanworks sharing method. Now, on the internet, fans used mailing lists like at yahoo.com to share Fanworks, but it wasn't long until fans transitioned to social media websites like livejournal.com, fanfiction.net, and tumblr.com. Who are the fans behind Fanworks? Fans can be anyone of any age, gender, and nationality. Fans come from all over the world and are not limited to just English-speaking individuals. 90% of fans tend to be women, but there are male fans in fandom too. Many of the fans are teens when they discover Fanworks, generally between 13 to 15 years old, but there are also fans who are in their 20s and older, some even older than 50 years. Part 3, the 6 C's of Fanworks. With the next generation framework and the concept of Fanworks, the two combined can be used as a tool to promote positive youth development. The proposed 6 C's of Fanworks are cognitivity, communication, community, contribution, character, and cheer. This section will explore the 6 C's and their effects on positive youth development. The first C is focused on cognitivity. Piaget's theory of cognitive development states that youth are capable of abstract thinking and critical thinking. Both types of thinking increase in their form of operation stage at 11 or 12 years old time frame. Fanworks provide plenty of opportunities for youth to think abstractly. One example is to question the meaning behind a work and think of alternate scenes. Suppose Harry Potter had befriended Draco Malfoy in his first year. How would the story be different or the same? Even in cosplaying, fans have to think about the costume they create and ask themselves, what kind of fabric should this costume be? Would it be better to use inside or outside stitches? Is the fabric color close to what is in the original drawing? Fans think abstractly as they combine medium. Say a fan wants to use a different song for the Battle of Pelennor Field in The Lord of the Rings. He or she needs to consider whether a music should have lyrics or not. Does adding the lyrics make the scene more emotional, or is it better to keep it instrumental only? Examples like these show Fanworks to be deep and meaningful for the youth who participate in their creation. In addition, Fanworks allow youth to think creatively, and Schaffner describes Fanworks to be a creative form of criticism. Regarding creative form of criticism, some fans may not prefer the original source of fandom, so they express their dislike and different viewpoints through Fanworks. For example, say a fan disliked the way J.K. Rowling wrote the ending for Harry Potter. The fan chooses to ignore the true source, known as canon, and recreate a different ending for the story. Creativity, another abstract concept, is a subjective term, but good creativity can be multidisciplinary and transdisciplinary in nature. An example is a fan writing a fanfic that focuses on the medical world of Harry Potter. Not only is the fan using his or her writing to share their story, but they bring in what they know about the medical field into a magical world. This allowed the fan to ask questions like, how can a wizard perform CPR with a wand? And thus allowing the fan to think outside the box. Then you have something called multimodality. With so many different types of Fanworks, fans think about what format to present their ideas in. Some fans choose to exclusively write, while others write, draw, and even create websites. Every fan's output is different based on their individual. Fanworks also provide youth with the opportunity to gain new knowledge and skills. One online friend in Maryland, Penguin, says, I researched and wrote a lot of fan fiction, and in fandoms like Italia, I researched and learned a lot about history to make the stories historically accurate. Also, I developed an appreciation for history. Penguin's experience showed that Fanworks can expand an individual's knowledge on a particular topic. By researching more about history, people like Penguin can create a historically accurate fanwork that is received more favorably than a work that's not well researched. Communication, the second C, is a much needed key for fans who participate in fandom. In order to share their love for a particular fandom, fans communicate with each other offline or online or both. Offline communication occurs in school where friends share their love for a fandom and encourage each other to create fanworks. Another way for fans to communicate with each other offline is at convention. Friends and strangers connect with similar interests and participate in various activities at convention. Activities include cosplaying, writing workshops, and selling fan-created crafts. On the internet, fans use various communication tools to connect. These include email, instant messenger, forums, and social media platforms. The duality of online and offline connections also support different personality types among fans. As an example, introverts prefer to connect with other fans online rather than offline. Communication is also linked to languages. Many non-English speaking fans use English speaking fandom to improve their own English skills. These fans practice their English by reading and writing fanfic in English, and they communicate with other fans in English. Even within the English-speaking fandom, American fans learn about British English and culture through fandoms like Harry Potter, and the vice versa happens for British fans of Twilight. The opposite happened too when English fans discover Japanese media and learn Japanese language and culture for their own personal and professional reasons. On the website making front, fans must be proficient in HTML/XHTML, CSS, PHP, Java, and other computer-based languages to code and create web pages. Learning communication skills enhances a youth's personal and professional development. Offline and online interactions improve communication skills for these individuals. The third C is community. The fandom itself is the community where fans come together. With the internet, fans from all over the world bond together, and this means fandom is a diverse community. Because of the diverse nature of fandoms and its fans, subcultures exist within each fandom. As a result, rules and terminology differ from fandom to fandom. For example, with Western media fandom, slash and femslash are used to indicate homosexual pairings. But in Japanese media fandom, the term yaoi, shonen or shoujo-ai, BL, or yuri are used. These rules and terminology give fandom a collectivist feel. New members of fandom have to learn how to navigate in the fandom to be a part of the community. KMJ, a fan from Minnesota, says, "We've got our own set of social rules in fandom and balk when someone doesn't follow them. Yet they're rarely stated up front. Newbies are tossed in and have to make friends who will tell them what's expected and how things usually work and what all the acronym means and norms for responding. Therefore, to succeed in fandom, one must make friends, learn the ropes, follow the rules, and participate." Fandom as a community is what the fans make it. Collectively, fans combine efforts to ensure the community is a safe place where they can form relationships and create fan work together. Delia, a fan from Luxembourg, believes that fandom is where youth form friendship while engaging in their fan work. MWNA mailing from Virginia adds to Delia's statement by saying, "Fandom reinforced the need to give and receive feedback and ask for improvement on their fan work. Fandom is also a place where fans help each other with non-fandom related issues." Uturpe, a New York fan who was trained in crisis intervention, states, "Fandom allows us to give moral support, mentoring, and guidance to each other. A friend recently asked for advice on talking to her spouse about something tricky. I have had friends talk about self-realization regarding sex, racism, gender identity, and life goals in their fandom before they brought them to the offline world. In the end, fans come together to provide more than just fan work for each other. As a community, fans strive to provide support for friends who need non-fandom support, and youth gain a lot from these support." The next G focuses on contribution. Many forms of contribution occur in fandom, providing youth with opportunity to participate in several ways. In participatory culture, fans create and share their own fan work for pleasure, while other fans offer critiques and feedback on the work. Some fans share outstanding work with their friends through word of mouth. Others, known as lurkers, quietly consume fanworks without much participation. Fanworks also provide youth opportunity to create fanwork for good causes. KMJ elaborates on this point by saying, there are fandom-made communities on LiveJournal that have popped up in recent years following natural disasters with Help Haiti or Help Japan as examples. Creators pledge to create something for the individual who in turn pledges to donate money to the cause. This is something youth can do themselves and learn to give. Another way to contribute is to be technically savvy. Some fans create websites that support shared fanwork like Ink-Stained Fingers. Betaing is another way for fans to contribute to their fandom, albeit in a more subtle way. A beta is similar to a proofer or an editor who volunteers their time to review someone's fanwork before it is shared with others. For fanfic writers, the beta proofs and edits the writing and sometimes participates in the planning process of the story. For fan art and other craft-related work, the beta reviews the drawing or creation to make sure it is correct. Some betas also act as cheerleaders for the creators, encouraging them to continue with the creation process and helping when the creator gets stuck in a writer's or artist's block. This working relationship can quickly turn to friendship between the creator and their beta. On a personal note, my friends and I beta each other's work on a regular basis, so I value their help and their friendship. In fact, some of them even betaed my own schoolwork, which demonstrates how we support each other outside of fandom. These friends also came to my aid when I began this Capstone Project. The fifth C is character. This attribute focuses on the individual's character and self-identity. Fandom as a community reflects a collectivistic context, but within the community, fans celebrate the individualism. One fan states that she liked characters she could identify with. Indeed, some fans put their preferences in their creation. One example is when someone likes classical music and they draw a fan art of their favorite character playing in an orchestra. Fans share their own culture in their work, which exposes other fans to new different culture. Say that an Argentinian fan writes a plausible Harry Potter fanfic taking place in Argentina. With this setting, the fan incorporates the Argentinian culture, such as food and customs, into the story. Fandom allows fans to explore their own sexuality. LGBT fans discover slash works and are drawn to them because the works reflect their sexual orientation. Fandom provides youth a safe place where they feel comfortable to discuss difficult subjects without adult expectations and rules. Fanworks also encourage young people to explore themselves. Utopia believes that crafting a story or other fanwork requires imagination, which requires knowledge of self, curiosity, the willingness to make mistakes as one learns, openness to different outcomes, and problem-solving skills. Although it is clear that fanworks are something that not only affect other fans, but also affects the creators. The last C is cheer, and this attribute focuses on how fandom and fanworks are fun for youth to partake in this activity. Fanworks do affect youth and their development in many ways, but it also provides enjoyment. Yankee, a fan from New York, says, fun is needed too. Reducing stress and having a safe outlet to relax and comfort yourself with is something fandom allows. KMJ adds that fandom promotes a safe place for fantasy, to express our fantasies and desires, to understand others, to imagine, and to expand and expound on a finite amount of information. And then we have MW Name explaining how fandom gives youth a chance to be creative and develop their own style of writing instead of always focusing on academic papers. Lastly, to tie in with cheer, fanwork is a spark for young people. Sparks are special interest and ability that inspire youth to pursue their passion on their own, and Benson advocates that parents and other youth professionals encourage them to do something they enjoy. For some youth, their spark may not advance further than their adolescent years, but for others, it is a lifelong endeavor. And with this, I conclude my presentation. When one considers the next generation mindset and what fandom and fanworks are all about, these concepts combined show how it all comes together to promote positive youth development. With the 6 C's, I've established that Fanworks are a great tool to promote cognitive development in youth as they learn new skills through various media, encourage youth to communicate in multiple ways, engage youth in finding positive relationships within a community, advocate youth to be active contributors in their fandom, support youth in finding their own character in their adolescent years, and to cheer youth on to have fun and enjoy their fandom activities. Yes, the next generation and Generation Next consume much more media than the older generation. And by no means am I advocating that youth spend hours doing fandom activities. The key to all this is to promote a healthy balance of media consumption and other activities. And that's what parents, educators, and youth professionals should consider. Rather than shunning today's media, they should use them in a way that encourages active participation in activities like Fanworks. In my research, I've also discovered educators using Fanworks to promote literacy in schools. Whether it's at home or at school, Fanworks leave an impression, much like the way the Yellow Brick Road left its impression in The Wizard of Oz. I agree with Genki's quote. Since my own teenage years, I credit my love for anime, video games, and Harry Potter to shape who I am today. My exposure to different media allowed me to gain knowledge on various subjects like Japanese culture, European history, and many other topics. My own writing improved over the years as I read and wrote fanfic. I made friends from all over the world who became my support group when my offline life was difficult, and when opportunities arose, I met them face to face. These are experiences I cherish. I became interested in technology when I started making my own web pages and learned the art of graphic design. I also explored various social media platforms thanks to my interest in Fanworks. This provided a foundation for my experience as a youth technology lab lead in my workplace, and I strive to share what I know with today's youth. Fandom is an outlet I visit when I need to escape reality, and I thank my parents and my stubbornness for letting me immerse in these hobbies and interests that they are not familiar with. I have never regretted my venture into fandom. I'd like to take the moment to thank all these wonderful people who helped me with my master's degree program and my Capstone Project. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't have achieved my degree. My gratitude extends to those who I know offline and online. Finally, I'd like to dedicate this presentation to Mrs. Irene Dugdale Lee, my beloved high school band teacher who passed away on October 16, 2013. Her support and love drove me to succeed in my undergrad and graduate studies. And the last remaining slides are my references. With that said, thank you so much for watching this presentation. I hope you enjoyed it.